أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we are very near to the month of Ramadan Sharif. One cannot emphasize its value and importance. The month is, we can realize that Nafal Ibadat is elevated to the state of Farz Ibadat, and Farz Ibadat is elevated 70 times more. So this Hadith Sharif is sufficient to make us understand and realize the value of Ramadan Sharif in sight of Allah Ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, very near to it, and the benefits of the month of Ramadan Sharif, so that we may acquire. Allah Ta'ala has fixed the routine, and Rasulullah has fixed the schedule for us. If we follow the routine and schedule of the month of Ramadan Sharif, automatically, inshallah ta'ala, we will acquire the blessing and barakat of this month. And it's a 1 month. If somebody values it and observes it in a proper way, inshallah, the effect of it will stay with him for the whole of the year. It's like charging a battery. The battery is charged and it lasts for a long time. Exactly same as the state of month Ramadan Sharif, that it elevates our spiritual state and it creates a spirit in ourselves that we come near to Allah Ta'ala. We become steadfast and stronger in deen. The hikmat of fast is mentioned to control our nafs, because through the nafs, person usually is misled, and the nafs takes him on the wrong path, makes him do wrong thing. So the first thing is to control the nafs, and fast has a very great effect in control of the nafs. Once a person can acquire the control over his nafs, inshallah ta'ala, it will become easy for him to act on the deen and follow the deen. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Allah has made a promise. We'll make effort in our path. We will show him our path of hidayat. So the root of deen is mujahadah. The meaning of mujahadah is to fight against the nafs and control the nafs in fulfilling the command of Allah Ta'ala. The fast has a very great effect in controlling the nafs. More person can control his nafs, more inshallah ta'ala he'll be able to act on deen and stay away from ma'siyat and sins. And the fast has effect in control of the nafs. रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया है कि रोज़ा ढाल है. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that fast is a shield against shaitan, shield against the nafs, and shield against jahannam. पर सारी खुशनसीबी इसमें है कि नफ्स उस पर हावी, और जिस तरह सर्कस घूर रहा. So a person's good fortune is that he acquires control over the nafs. This is something, such a matter, usually people do not understand. They commit wrong things, they do wrong things, they commit evil things, and they think, I am independent, I am free, I can do what I want to do. No one can stop me. My father, mother can't stop me. My teacher can't stop me. There's nobody above me. I'm completely free to do what I want to do. This is a general understanding, this is a general conception of people. They count this to be freedom. In fact, it's a slavery of the nafs and slavery of the shaitan. The person does not realize, and this pushes him more and more into ma'siyat and into evils. Once a person realizes this reality, then hopefully starts to control his nafs and he realizes that he's not free, it's not freedom. In fact, it's a capture of the nafs and slavery of the nafs. So a person's good fortune is in getting control over the nafs. And rather than nafs controlling him, he controls the nafs. Giving example of a wild horse. जिस तरह सर्कस घोड़े पर काबू पाना भूख से कमजोर किए बगैर मुमकिन नहीं. A wild horse, it has a lot of strength and energy, and if you want to get control over the horse with the strength it has, it is not possible. So you have to tame the horse, you have to lessen his feed, you have to lessen his food in the beginning. Then when it becomes weak physically, now it will come under control. कि जब वो शकमशेर होता है तो कुव्वत पाकर शरारत करता और बदकारी करता है. Like a horse, the more it's fed, the more strength it acquires, is out of control, the more it will be wild and more it will be out of control. इसी तरह नफ्स का हाल है. Exactly this is the state of the nafs. This is, we usually don't understand. As just mentioned, person does wrong thing, he's free. I've got complete independent. I've got complete freedom. I can do what I want to do. So this conception of independence, it takes him far and far away from deen and takes him into evil and evil. एक बुजुर्ग से किसी ने पूछा क्या वजह है कि बावजूद बुढ़ापे के आप अपने बदन का ख्याल नहीं रखते कि वो झुक गया. Somebody asked the Buzurg that what is the matter? You are in such an old age and still you don't look after yourself, you don't look after your body and you make your body toil. उन्होंने जवाब दिया कि वजह उसकी ये है कि बहुत ही जल्द मगरूर हो जाने वाला और निहायत दर्जा शरीर और मुतकब्बिर है. The Buzurg, he said, the reason is that the nafs, it gets control over you very quickly and it overpowers you very quickly. Just like a horse, if you're not careful, it will trip his rider and make him fall. So exactly in the same way, the nafs always looking for a chance to get his way, and the nafs food is desires. So when a person, he becomes little slack, he becomes little out of control, then the nafs will make him do what it wants to do. So the Buzurg replied that the nature of the nafs is shararat, wama ubarri'u nafsi, inna nafsa la'ammaratun bisu. Allah Ta'ala says himself in Quran Sharif that the nature of the nafs is a command towards evil. So that is his nature. So if a person is not like a snake, the nature of the snake is to bite. So exactly in the same way, the nature of the nafs is to call towards evil and make person commit evil. So if a person is not careful, you went to shopping today, shopping was just a name. But you can ask yourself, what was the real reason behind going shopping? What did I do? What did my eyes do? What did my ears do? What did my heart do? So, and the person, I might have, I enjoyed it, but who enjoyed it? The eyes enjoyed it? The ears enjoyed it? The heart enjoyed it? No, it's not even nafs. It got its way and it got its enjoyment, and he used the eyes, he used the ears. So this is how we get tricked. The person does not realize. Somebody might have gone to takeaway. Oh, I enjoyed the takeaway. Who is that I? So this is where we get tricked and we get deceived. लिहाजा मुझे अंदेशा रहता है कि बिदअत को मुझको हलाकत में न डाल दे. So the Buzurg says, I am always fearful of the nafs, that I become a little slack upon it and it will take me to halakat, it will destroy me, meaning take me to commit sin. So that stage does not come. I keep control over it. I don't give it what it wants, and I keep it under control. बस मशक्क़तों में उसको डाले रखना मुझको इससे ज़्यादा पसंद है कि बदकारियों पर उसको दलेर करूं. So there are two things. Not to give the nafs what it wants, and on the other hand give the nafs what it wants, and it becomes stronger and stronger over me, and it makes me commit sins, and it makes me commit evil. So rather than doing this, I prefer to put my nafs in a stake and put my nafs in a tight condition so that it does not make me commit sins. बल्कि जो शख्स गहरी निगाह से देखेगा वो जान लेगा कि जब भूख से शर्मगाह की शहवत और कलाम की ख्वाहिश में सुस्तगी आ जाती है तो उस वक्त इंसान अक्सर गुनाहों से निजात पाता है. सेंसिबल पर्सन that he will look into himself, that when his stomach is full, he's got strength and energy in his body, what is the condition of the nafs? And opposite of that, when he's hungry, what is the condition of the nafs? It's a completely different matter. That when a person's stomach is full, he's got strength and energy, all type of thoughts comes into him, all type of desires comes into him, and when he's hungry, his aim is towards food. How can I get food? So all these thoughts automatically they go away. So this is very obvious for a sensible person. बूढ़े बूढ़े ख्यालात आया करते हैं. So if a person does not go any further, this is the least. When his stomach is full and he's got strength in his body, then and he's free, there is nothing to do also, then his mind goes towards evil thoughts. His mind goes towards indecent thoughts. So that is the very near matter. And if he goes further, he misuses the eyes. And stage by stage he goes further and further. और शहवत के असबाब के मुतालिक नफ्स के ख्यालात ऐसी चीज़ है कि उनसे दुआ में यकसुही नहीं रहती. So when a person he is engaged in evil thoughts, immoral thoughts, then now his heart will not attach with ibadat. That even if he is performing salat, but his mind is somewhere else. He's reading Quran Sharif, his mind is somewhere else. His thoughts are somewhere else. So this is the harm of not having control over the nafs. And this is mentioned usually when a person's stomach is full. This is what happens. And when he's hungry, then usually his thoughts does not go towards these things. हज़रत अबू हुरैरा रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से रिवायत है कि रोज़ा ढाल है और जब रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम said that the fast is a shield, meaning against the nafs. Automatically the body becomes weak, and when the body becomes weak, the desires also become weak. So it's a shield against the nafs, and consequently it's a shield against sins and जहन्नम. और जब तुम्हारा किसी का रोज़ा हो तो न बदकलामी करे न बकवास करे. Rasulullah advised us that when any of you is fasting, he should not abuse his tongue and he should not lie. Meaning, when he controls his mouth, he does not eat or drink anything, so he should not bring out obscene and immoral conversation from his tongue also. फिर अगर कोई गाली गलोच करे तो कह दे कि मेरा रोज़ा है. So he should not start from his side. But if somebody starts from the opposite side, somebody wants to quarrel with him, someone wants to argue with him, So rather than going into the argument, he should say, bye, please leave me, I'm fasting. And this is something that if somebody is calling the other person say, I'm fasting, it will soften the other person also. इमाम तिरमिज़ी ने हज़रत मुआज़ रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से एक हदीस नकल की है। इसमें ये भी है कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया, क्या इन सब गुनाहों की जड़ तुमको न बताऊं? Rasulullah gave many advices, and in the end Rasulullah said, should I not show you the root of all these things, that if you will hold firmly with this, it will help you to stay away from evil and become steadfast on deen. मैंने अर्ज़ किया कि ज़रूर बताएं या रसूलल्लाह. Muazzin said, I said, sure ya Rasulullah, tell me the root of the deen and the key of the deen which will save me from evil. बस आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने अपनी ज़बान को पकड़ा और फरमाया कि उसको रोक लो. Rasulullah, he held his tongue and said, keep control over your tongue. So that is the key of abstaining from all evil, and it's a root of all the goodness, control of the tongue. मैंने कहा कि या रसूल अल्लाह, क्या हम ज़बान से जो बातें करते हैं उस पर भी पकड़ होगी? So Muazzin said, ya Rasulullah, what we speak with our tongue, will we be questioned regarding that also on the day of Qiyamah? आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाया, तुझको तुम्हारी माँ रोवे, ए मुआज़, क्या लोगों को मुंह के बल आग में और कुछ भी झोंकता है सिवाय ज़बान के करतूतों के? Rasulullah said in amazement and surprise that your mother may die, cry over you, meaning you die and your mother cries over you. So it's a word of curse originally, but it's used to warn someone, to reprimand someone. And Rasulullah said that what is there else from that which will take most people into Jahannam other than the tongue? Meaning most of the people, this is regarding the Muslims. Non-Muslims, they will go because of the kufr and shirk. But among the Muslims, the matter which will take most of the Muslim into Jahannam is what they have done with their tongue. So meaning that the tongue is such a limb, such an organ, that people misuse it, abuse it, and because of that, they will go into Jahannam. So Rasulullah advised to keep control over the tongue. So the fasting person doesn't like to, especially when he becomes hungry, he becomes thirsty, he becomes weak, he just wants to lie down, he doesn't want to talk. So this is one of the benefits of fasting. It helps him to control his tongue and save him from the evils of the tongue. इमाम बैहक़ी ने शियाबुल ईमान में हज़रत सलमान फ़ारसी रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से रिवायत की है कि शाबान के आखिरी दिन रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को खुतबा सुनाया. बस फरमाया, ए लोगों, तुम्हारे पास अज़मत वाला महीना आ पहुँचा. हज़रत सलमान रज़ी अल्लाह तआला says that the last day of Shaban, just before beginning of Ramadan Sharif, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he delivered the speech, he delivered the sermon, and he emphasized the value and merit of the month of Ramadan Sharif. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that very great month has come upon you. It's very blessed, जो मुबारक महीना, और ऐसा महीना है जो बेहतर है हजार महीनों से. That is such a month, it's a blessed month. And the month in itself is better than 1,000 months. And the one night of it, Laylatul Qadr, is better than Alfi Shahr, 1,000 months. अल्लाह ताला ने उसके रोज़े फ़र्ज़ किए हैं और उसकी रात की इबादत नफल. So Allah has ordained upon us the fast of the month of Ramadan Sharif and made the night ibadat, nafal meaning beside the first tarawih. जिसने इसमें कोई नफल नेकी की तो ऐसा हुआ जैसे किसी ने दूसरे महीने में फ़र्ज अदा किया. Allah Ta'ala raises the value of the ibadat. If somebody makes a nafal ibadat in this month, Allah Ta'ala rewards him as though he has carried out a first act in any other month. और जिसने इस महीने में फ़र्ज अदा किया ऐसा हुआ जैसे दूसरे महीने में 70 फ़र्ज अदा किए. And who fulfills the farz in this month, it's as though he has fulfilled 70 farz in other months. So 5 times salat we perform in normal times, we receive the sawab we receive. In Ramadan Sharif, 1 farz salat, we receive the sawab 70 times more. 70 farz salat reward. Same, we are fasting. So the fast of month Ramadan, is 1 fast is equal to 70 farz fast in other days. Same, giving zakat. So these are the 3 acts we can carry out, which are farais: performing salat, farz salat, keeping the fast, and giving zakat. So we carry out this in this month, then the reward will be elevated to the level of 70 farz ibadat. ये महीना सबर का महीना है. It's a month of patience. Naturally, we abstain from eating, drinking, which is something natural. Night time we stay awake for Tarawih Salat. So the month is a month of patience. और सबर का बदला जन्नत है. The reward of patience is जन्नत. और ये महीना है गम खाली का. And it's a month of caring for other people, poor people, weak people, helping them. और ऐसा महीना है जिसमें मोमिन की रोज़ी बढ़ा दी जाती है. Since the month, the sustenance of believer is increased. We can see with our own eyes. We can see iftari time and between Maghrib and Isha, how much food is on the dastakhan, we can't even eat. So this is something barakat of Ramadan Sharif. जिसने इसमें एक रोज़ेदार को इफ्तारी दी उसके लिए परवानाए मग़फ़िरत है. Somebody gave iftar to a fasting person, then the person who gave the iftari is guaranteed मग़फ़िरत उसके गुनाहों की और उसकी गर्दन की रिहाई है आग से, and he acquires the salvation from Jahannam. So just feeding one fasting person and giving iftari to one fasting person, this person's sins are forgiven and he's guaranteed Jannat just over that. और उसको रोज़ेदार ही के बराबर सवाब मिलेगा बगैर उसके कि उसके अजर में कुछ भी कमी आए. And the person who gave iftari, he will receive the same reward as the person who had fasted without any sawab being lessened from the fasting person's reward. हमने अर्ज़ किया कि या रसूल अल्लाह, सबके पास तो इतना मौजूद नहीं है कि रोज़ेदार को इफ्तारी दें. We said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are not so well off that we can give full iftari to any person. So such a people who are poor themselves, they can't give full iftari to a fasting person. What about these people? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam फरमाया कि अल्लाह ताला यही सवाब उसको देगा जो रोज़ेदार को इफ्तार कराए दूध के एक घूंट या एक छुआरे या पानी के एक घूंट के ऊपर. Rasulullah sallallahu replied that Allah Ta'ala give this reward to a person who just gave one sip of milk to someone, or he gave one date to someone, or he gave a sip of water to a fasting person. So even in that small amount, he will receive this reward. And somebody feeds the iftar fasting person, the reward of that will be even greater. और जिसने रोज़ेदार को पेट भरकर खिलाया तो अल्लाह ताला उसको मेरी हौज से ऐसा शरबत पिलाएंगे कि जन्नत में दाखिल होने तक फिर प्यासी न लगेगी. And if somebody fed a fasting person's stomach full, then Allah Ta'ala will feed him from my house Kausar, and once he has drunk from there, he will never feel thirsty again. ये ऐसा महीना है कि उसका अव्वल हिस्सा रहमत है. Rasulullah then further said, the beginning of this month is mercy of Allah Ta'ala. We start to fast, we start to make ibadat, Allah's special mercy starts to descend on the people. और दरमियानी हिस्सा मग़फ़िरत है, and by fasting, performing salat, reciting Quran Sharif, making dua, istighfar, by the first 10 days he is completed, he is forgiven. और आखिरी हिस्सा आज़ादी है जहन्नम से, and the last 10 days is a freedom from Jahannam, meaning he comes out of all the sins, he is purified, and he is completely given salvation from Jahannam. और जिसने अपने गुलाम से इस महीने में काम हल्का कर दिया, अल्लाह ताला उसकी मग़फ़िरत फरमाएगा. If those people under his hands, he lessens their work, he lessens their burden, then because of that Allah will forgive that person. और उसको दोज़ख से रहाई देंगे, and Allah will free him from Jahannam. और ये महीना यानी माह रमज़ान में रोज़े की फ़र्ज़ियत इसलिए है कि जो इंसान इसमें रोज़ा रखेगा तो उसके नफ्स की शहवत शिकस्ता हो जाएगी. The wisdom of this month is that whoever will fast in a proper way according to sunnah, fulfilling the adab, automatically it will have effect on that person that the strength of the nafs will be broken. और उसकी ताद्दी का हैजान ज़ाइल हो जाएगा, and the evil of the nafs will go away from that person. That yes, he fasts in a proper way, he carries out the adabs of the fasting, inshallah the effect of that will be upon his nafs. The nafs will become weak, it will be easy for him to control his nafs. बस गुनाहों से दूर हो जाएगा. The effect of that will be, he will be away from sin. Something very obvious. We see many people before Ramzan Sharif they did not used to perform salat, but as soon as Ramzan comes they become punctual with salat, and they used to watch TV. Ramzan Sharif they close the TV. So these are the very obvious sign of the barakat of Ramzan Sharif, and many other sins that people they give up in the month of Ramzan Sharif. So this is the barakat of Ramzan and barakat of fasting. फरमाया रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने कि इंसान के हर अमल में एक नेकी बढ़ाई जाती है 10 गुनाह तक. Whatever good act we carry out, we are rewarded from 1 till 10 times more. Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu ashru amthaliha. This is a rule by Allah Ta'ala. Whatever good act we carry out, Allah Ta'ala rewards us 10 times more. तो 10 गुनाह से लेकर 700 गुनाह तक. So from 10 to 700, depending on how much he has fulfilled the etiquettes of that act, the sawab increases from 10 to 700. हक़ ताला फरमाते हैं सिवाय रोज़े के कि वो मेरा है. So this rule does not apply to the fast, that the fast is specially for me, meaning it's such an act that no one knows except him and Allah Ta'ala. Other acts they are carried out in front of people. We perform salat, other people can see us. We recite Quran Sharif, we make zikr sitting down, and many these acts they can be seen by other people. But the fast is such a ibadat that nobody can know except himself and Allah Ta'ala. So this is why Allah Ta'ala says, the fast is specially for me. और मैं ही उसका अजर दूंगा. and I will give its reward myself. कि छोड़ता है अपनी शहवत और खाने को मेरी वजह से. The fasting person, he gives up his desire, he gives up the eating for sake of Allah. There are many chances that he's alone, nobody can see him eating, drinking, but the fear of Allah Ta'ala stops him from eating and drinking. So this is the meaning, the awareness of Allah Ta'ala, that because there is no one will know that he has broken the fast, he has eaten something, he has drunk something, but because of the fear of Allah Ta'ala is watching me, he does not eat anything, he does not drink anything. So this is awareness of Allah Ta'ala, it's a fear of Allah Ta'ala and love of Allah Ta'ala. रोज़ेदार के लिए दो खुशी हैं, एक खुशी इफ्तार के वक्त, दूसरी खुशी अपने रब से मुलाकात के वक्त. Fasting person, he has two occasions of happiness. One, when he breaks the fast, so it's something we can see. When we're breaking the fast, so eating and drinking, we are given permission, so it's a natural, we become happy. And secondly, for fulfilling the fast. And second, happiness will be when we meet Allah Ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah, and Allah Ta'ala reward us upon it, so that will be even greater. और रोज़ेदार के मुंह की बदबू अल्लाह ताला के नज़दीक मुझ से ज़्यादा खुशबूदार है. And a person is fasting, as the days goes along, and his stomach becomes empty, and because of that, a smell starts to come from his mouth. So we don't like that smell, but that has occurred because of fasting for Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala likes it more than a musk, the fragrance of the musk. रोज़ा ख्वाहिशात छोड़कर नफ्स की शौकत के तोड़ने की वजह से अल्लाह के दुश्मन यानी शैतान को ज़ेर करना और तसर्रुफ से उसको रोकना है. So when a person is fasting, automatically is giving up his desirable things, eating and drinking. So and these are the most desirable things a person has with him. He wants to eat all the time, he wants to drink all the time. So when he's controlling his eating and drinking, then to control other desires, it will become easy for him. And shaitan, he uses the nafs in getting his way. So when a person by fasting has weakened his nafs, then it affects the shaitan. The ideas he puts in the mind of the person, in the nafs of the person, they do not materialize. So it saves a person from committing sins. This is what shaitan wants, because by committing sin, the person goes into Jahannam. So if a person can abstain from committing sin, inshallah he will be safe from Jahannam also. So the fast has a very great effect in control of the nafs and abstaining from sins. और उसके दुश्मन को ज़ेर करना है. So we need to control the nafs, control the shaitan, but we can't fight directly against the shaitan. And shaitan does not fight with us directly also. He fights with us and he tries to get control over us through the nafs. And the fast has effect on the nafs. More a person can control his nafs, the more he will be able to abstain from sins and get into the influence of shaitan. So this is a ni'mat of Allah Ta'ala, that shaitan, his physical strength is very, very much greater than us. We cannot fight with him directly, physically, but the way to save oneself from the effect of shaitan is by asking protection from Allah Ta'ala. So we told, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله. So whenever a person is influenced by shaitan, then the first thing is to turn towards Allah Ta'ala and ask Allah Ta'ala's protection. That is first. And secondly, by weakening the nafs. This is a practical way, that more person weakens the the less effect of shaitan will be upon that person. And the fast has a very great effect upon that. रोज़े की वजह से जब गुनाहों की जुल्मतें बंदे के दूर हो जाती है और अनवार इबादत से वो मुनव्वर हो जाता है, तो उसको तक़र्रुब इल्लल्लाह का दर्जा हासिल होता है. So fast is a way of coming near to Allah Ta'ala, because fasting is ibadat in itself. And secondly, when a person is fasting, then usually he stays away from sins. And once it becomes a habit that more a person fasts, more he stays away from sins, then he comes near to Allah Ta'ala. इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने रोज़े के 3 दर्जे बयान फरमाए हैं. Now the fast is of 3 types, so we can see for ourselves that in which category I come into. That the fast or people fasting, they divide into 3 types, 3 categories. So we can see for ourselves that when I'm fasting, in this category I come under. उसके बाद ये भी पोशीदा न रहना चाहिए कि बकौल इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह रोज़े के 3 दर्जे हैं. According to इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, that is stages of fast or 3 types of fast, 3 categories of fast. एक आम लोगों का रोज़ा, one is a general common people's fast. दूसरा खास लोगों का रोज़ा, secondly the special people's fast. तीसरा खासुल खास लोगों का रोज़ा, and those are people are very special people's fast. So people divide into 3 types: common people, and highest people, and the people of very high status. So आवाम का रोज़ा तो पेट और शर्मगाह का शहवत से रोकना है. So general people's fast is to abstain from eating, drinking and intercourse. So general people, they abstain from these 3 things, and beside that they do not control the rest of the body. और ख़ास लोगों का रोज़ा आँख, कान, ज़बान, हाथ, पाँव और तमाम आज़ा का गुनाहों से रोकना है. The second category of the fast is that while abstaining from eating, drinking, intercourse, they control their eyes, ears, tongue, hands and feet from all type of sins. So that is a special people's fast, and the second type of people's fast. और ख़ास लोगों का रोज़ा वो रद्दी ख्यालात और दुनियावी फ़िक्रों से दिल को रोज़ेदार बनाना. And especially the people who have very high status, so their fast is that they control their mind, they control their heart, and they control their thoughts also, that no evil thoughts or desires comes into their mind. They're completely engrossed in the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. So, with abstaining from eating, drinking, intercourse, and controlling all the body parts of the body, and on top of that, they have control over their mind, control over their heart, that no useless thoughts come into them. That is a special people's or high status people's fast. और बिल्कुल अल्लाह के सिवा से बाज आना. So the heart and mind is completely engaged in the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. So that is the fast of the heart, fast of the mind. ये रोज़ा अल्लाह के सिवा दुनिया के ज़रा ख्याल से भी इफ्तार हो जाता है. So this type of fast, that a person does not have any thought beside the thought of Allah Ta'ala. So if a thought of other things starts to come in his mind, then the state of the fast will be broken. अलबत्ता ख़ास रोज़ा 6 बातों से पूरा होता है. So people like us, alhamdulillah, we fast, we abstain from eating, drinking, intercourse. With that, if we can acquire control over our eyes, ears, tongue, hands and feet, inshallah ta'ala, we will achieve the benefit of the fast. So if we can't reach the very high level, we should be in medium. That with controlling eating and drinking, we control our body parts and not allow them to commit any sin. खास रोज़ा 6 बातों से पूरा होता है. So the middle fast is completed by 6 matters. अव्वल ये कि जिस शय की तरफ नज़र करना जायज़ नहीं, खुसूसन अजनबी औरतों से नज़र को झुकाए रखना. So firstly, eye, that what is not permissible to see, one should abstain from seeing such a thing. So whether it's directly, for example, non-mahram woman, or on TV, video, mobile. So firstly, while we're fasting, we abstain from eating and drinking. With that, we control our eyes and not allow the eye to see what is not permissible to see. क्योंकि उससे छुपी हुई शहवत भड़कती है. So if a person while he's fasting, if he looks at a non-mahram woman, straight away his heart and his nafs will erupt, and the desired passion and lust will start to erupt in his heart. So that will spoil the state of the heart. और इसलिए रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फरमाया है कि ये नज़र शैतान का असर है. That to look at a woman or what is not permissible, it is an effect of shaitan. Straight away the heart, it will lose his attention from Allah Ta'ala, and his thoughts will start to wander. और दिल में इबादत की हलावत नहीं आने देती. And because of this, the person does not acquire the taste of ibadat, the enjoyment of ibadat, because the lust and desire, it becomes a barrier between the person and his heart. इमाम अहमद रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने हज़रत अबू उमामा बाहिरी रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से रिवायत की है कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से रिवायत की है कि जिस शख्स की निगाह किसी औरत के महासिन की तरफ पड़े और वो पहली ही नज़र के बाद अपनी निगाह को झुका ले, तो अल्लाह ताला उसको इबादत की तौफीक देता है जिसकी हलावत उसको नसीब होगी. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if accidentally somebody's eyes falls on a woman and straight away he removes his sight from that woman, he closes his eyes, he lowers his gaze and he does not keep looking at that woman, then Allah Ta'ala gives tawfiq to make ibadat. He will feel the enjoyment of that ibadat. Example, performing 2 rakat salah, reciting Quran Sharif, making zikr. So if a person, for example, walking outside and accidentally our sight fell on a woman, but he did not stick that sight, straight away he turned away his sight, he closed his eyes, and so because of that, Allah Ta'ala gave him tawfiq to make ibadat, and he will acquire the taste of ibadat and enjoyment of ibadat by controlling his eyes from that non-permissible woman. So the first thing in a state of fasting, control of the eyes. Secondly, zaban ko us bakwas se महफूज रखना, to control the tongue from evil speaking. मसलन झूठी बात कहने पर, to speak lie while fasting, और गुनाह का अमल करना, और गीबत चुगलखोरी वगैरह से. So to control the tongue from backbiting and speaking evil of another person. क्योंकि ये बातें दिल को तारीक और मुकद्दर बना देती है. Because these things, by abusing the tongue has a very great effect on the heart, that it blackens the heart, it darkens the heart. The ability of the heart is weakened from virtue. और उसको तवज्जो इल्लाह से रोक देती है. By speaking evil, it takes his mind away from Allah Ta'ala. इमाम बुखारी ने हज़रत अबू हुरैरा रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से रिवायत की है कि फरमाया रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने, जिसने झूठ बोलना और उस पर अमल करना नहीं छोड़ा तो अल्लाह ताला उसका मुहताज नहीं है कि वो अपना खाना पीना छोड़ दे. रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम said that the person who is fasting but he did not stop speaking lies, he did not stop backbiting, he did not stop abusing his tongue, then Allah Ta'ala, he just stayed hungry and thirsty. Allah Ta'ala does not need that person's fast, meaning his fast will not be accepted. So while we are fasting, we stay away from eating and drinking. We should abstain from the abuse of the tongue also, otherwise it will take away the barakat and blessing of the fast. इमाम बैहक़ी ने हज़रत इब्न अब्बास रज़ी अल्लाह तआला से रिवायत की है कि दो आदमियों ने ज़ोहर और असर की नमाज़ पढ़ी और दोनों रोज़ेदार थे. That in time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, two people they were fasting, two persons they were fasting, they performed Zohar and Asr Salat. जब रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु नमाज पूरी कर ली तो उनसे फरमाया अपना वुज़ू और नमाज दोनों लौटाओ. So they performed Salat behind Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Rasulullah finished his Salat, he said to him, make wuzu again and repeat your Salat. और रोज़ा कायम रखो and keep your fast, मगर दूसरे दिन उसकी कज़ा रखना. So don't break your fast now, complete your fast up till Maghrib time, but after that some time make qaza of the fast you have kept. उन्होंने अर्ज़ किया कि या रसूलुल्लाह क्या बात हुई? Rasul they asked, Ya Rasulullah, what happened? We performed salat behind you, we have not eaten anything, we have not drunk anything. Why are you commanding us to repeat our salat? Why are you commanding us to repeat our fast? आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि तुमने फुला शख्स की गीबत की है. Rasulullah replied that you have backbited that certain person. So by backbiting, the barakat of the salat has gone, the effect of the salat has gone, and the barakat and effect of the fast has gone also. Meaning the purpose of your ibadat has gone. So to achieve it again, you need to repeat the salat and your fast. इह्या उलूम में है कि हदीस में आया है कि दो औरतों ने रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में रोज़ा रखा. That in time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, two women they fasted. और शाम को प्यास ने उनको इतनी तकलीफ दी कि करीब था कि दम निकल जाए. But by evening time they became so thirsty that their life became into danger, that they might die out of thirst. बस उन्होंने हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की खिदमत में आदमी भेजकर इफ्तार की इजाज़त मांगी. So they sent someone to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he stated their condition and he asked permission to break the fast. That can we break our fast in such a state? Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam के पास एक प्याला भेजा. Rasulullah sallallahu he sent a bowl towards these two women और फरमाया कि जो कुछ खाया है उसमें तय करो. Rasulullah said to them, vomit what you have eaten in this bowl. बस एक ने तय की तो आधा खून था और आधा ताज़ा गोश्त. So one of the women, she vomited into the bowl. So what came out? The half was blood and half was fresh meat. And they were in the evening time. दूसरी ने भी ऐसी ही तय की. The other woman, she also vomited, and same, the blood and fresh meat came out in the vomit. हत्ता के प्याला भर गया. So by both women's vomit, the bowl was filled with blood and fresh meat. लोगों को उससे बड़ा ताज्जुब हुआ. People became surprised because when you make sahri, evening time, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, the food is digested and the food does not stay in the stomach. But it was evening time, and the whole blood and the fresh meat which they had eaten in sahri came out. So people were surprised. Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Rasulullah was informed that this is what happened, this is what they vomited out. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam फरमाया कि इन दोनों ने अल्लाह की हलाल की हुई चीज़ से तो रोज़ा रखा कि हलाल खाया और अल्लाह की हराम की हुई चीज़ पर इफ्तार किया. So Rasulullah said they started their fast with halal, meaning they ate halal food, but they started to backbite and they broke their fast with what is not permissible, meaning they backbited, so the effect of that came upon them. कि एक दूसरे के पास बैठकर लोगों की गीबत करने लगी. So they were fasting and they sat together and they started to backbite the people. So the effect of that, the blessing of fast was taken away, and instead, so this does not happen with everyone. If it would happen with everyone, then you can imagine what was said of the people, embarrassment in front of everyone. But just as an example, Allah creates this one so that other people take a lesson. बस ये वही है जो इन्होंने लोगों का गोश्त खाया. So this is the meat they have eaten from people, meaning the backbiting. Allah وَلَا يَغْتَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. So when somebody is biting someone, in fact he's eating the flesh of that person. So Allah conceals it, does not show it with everyone, but sometimes as a warning, as people become alert, Allah Ta'ala opens it up, so it becomes a lesson for us. सहीहैन में हज़रत अबू हुरैरा रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु से रिवायत है कि जब तुम में से किसी का रोज़ा हुआ करे तो न बदज़बानी करे न बकवास. Hazrat Abu Hurairah narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that when one of you is fasting, he should not abuse his tongue and he should not lie. बस अगर कोई उससे गाली गलौज करने लगे या लड़ने लगे तो कह दिया करे कि मेरा रोज़ा है. If the other person starts and he starts to argue, he starts to quarrel, this person should not join in, but he said, please leave me alone, I'm fasting. It will save him and it will save the matter going further. Baqi also, this is especially two matters, control of the eye and control of the tongue. Beside that, other limbs. बाकी आज़ा यानी हाथ, पाँव और कानों को गुनाह और मकरूहात से रोकना. So beside that, one should control his hand, doing anything wrong, feet going towards the wrong place, ears listening to wrong things, listening to music or women's voice or anything which is not permissible, to keep control over the ears. And what is not liked in Shariat, to control these limbs from doing these acts. और इफ्तार के वक्त पेट को मुश्तबा खाने से बचाना. And at iftar time, that one should save himself from eating what is doubtful. Haram is haram, but doubtful, that there is both probabilities. It could be halal, it could be haram. So abstain from such a food also. क्योंकि सोम के लुग़वी माना ही हराम से रोकने के हैं. The meaning of fast is to abstain from what is not permissible. फिर हराम पर इफ्तार करना तो ऐसा हुआ जैसे कोई महल बनाए और शहर को ढाए. So if somebody keeps the fast whole day and then he breaks his fast on a haram, it's like somebody to build the one house, he destroys the whole town. Meaning that he has done more harm than benefit. दारमी ने हज़रत अबू हुरैरा रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु से रिवायत की है कि फरमाया रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने बहुत से रोज़ेदार हैं कि रोज़े से सिवाय प्यास के उनको कुछ हासिल नहीं. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that many fasting people, they don't achieve anything except for thirst, meaning they don't achieve the sawab of the fast. और बहुत से तहज्जुद गुजार हैं कि तहज्जुद से सिवाय बेदारी के उनको कुछ हासिल नहीं. And there are many people who stay awake during the night, but they don't achieve anything except for losing their sleep. That meaning they wake up for tahajjud, but they're sleeping away, or they're engaged in a non-permissible act. So here is a warning that when, for example, a student, we sit for mutala and he sits and sleeps away, dozes away. So he's neither resting and neither achieving his mutala and the sawab of the mutala also. हलाल गिज़ावी इफ्तार के वक्त इतनी ज़्यादा न खाए कि पेट लबरेज हो जाए. So at iftari time, when he breaks the fast, he should eat not in such a way that the stomach is overfilled and it affects his night ibadat. क्योंकि रोज़े से मकसूद ख्वाहिश नफ्स का तोड़ना है ताकि नफ्स को परहेज़गारी की कुदरत हासिल हो जाए. The purpose behind fasting is to acquire control over the nafs, and the nafs becomes he becomes used to abstaining from sins. और जब दिन चढ़ने से लेकर शाम तक मैदे को खाली रखा कि इश्तिहा भड़क उठी और रग़बत कवी हो गई, उसके बाद मज़ेदार खाना खिलाए और खूब शक्म-सैर होकर खिलाए तो उसकी लज़्ज़त और बढ़ गई. So he stayed hungry for whole day, his stomach is completely empty, and now iftari time he eats so much, so the effect of the hunger has gone away. That the control of the nafs will go away. Most probably now it will become difficult for him to perform Isha Salat and Tarawih because of the heavy stomach. मुनासिब है कि बदनी और माली इबादतों में खूब कोशिश करे. So these are some of the matters to abstain from. Controlling the eyes, controlling the tongue, controlling the desire of overeating, and beside that in the month of Ramadan Sharif he should engage in more ibadat. और मुनासिब है कि बदनी और माली इबादतों में खूब कोशिश करे ताकि अनवाले खुदावंदी का उस पर तरशो हो और हसनात का अजर कहीं गुना हो जाए. So we should make most of this month of Ramadan Sharif, especially when we don't have anything to do. Students, we go home, so there is no any particular responsibility over us. So one should engage in reciting Quran Sharif, making zikr, especially those who are hafiz, then performing Tarawih. It will automatically, inshallah, engage them in recitation of Quran Sharif, so that the reward is increased even more. और यही वजह थी कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम इस माह मुबारक में खैरात और तिलावत कुरान और तहज्जुद गुजारी के आशिक थे. And Rasulullah sallallahu all through the year he was engaged in ibadat all the time, but in month of Ramadan Sharif there was no limit to his ibadat, that his khairat, charity would increase, recitation of Quran Sharif, he would make dua with Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, he would read to Jibreel alayhi salam, Jibreel alayhi salam would read to him, and staying awake during the night, it would increase in this month. Imam Bukhari ने हज़रत इब्न अब्बास रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु से रिवायत की है कि यूँ तो रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम सभी से ज़्यादा सखी थे, और माह रमज़ान में जब जिब्राईल मिला करते तो बहुत ही सखी हो जाया करते थे। रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम he was generous by nature, but in the month of Ramadan Sharif, Rasulullah's generosity would increase even more, and especially when Jibreel salam would come down and make dua with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. और जिब्राईल रमज़ान में हर शब में मिलते थे कि कुरान का आपके साथ दौर फरमाते थे. So in Ramadan Sharif, Jibreel salam would come and he would make dua with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's a sunnah in itself for a hafiz to make dua with someone that he reads to him, the other person reads to him. It's a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. बस उस वक्त रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम तेज चलने वाली हवा से भी ज़्यादा सखी होते थे. So because of month Ramadan Sharif, Allah's mercy increases, and the effect of that upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very much. And same should be with us also, that Allah's mercy increases, our mercy should increase, and our inclination towards virtue should increase also. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq to value this blessed month Ramadan Sharif. Give us tawfiq to keep the fast and make ibadat of month Ramadan Sharif, and keep the effect of Ramadan Sharif from the year.
نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.